This is a demonstration of the controller management system in OpenBMCS's OpenManagement platform. So we go into to controller management. You can see this is a list of all devices that are inside of level 1. You can also filter them better by clicking further into the list. So depending on how you organize them, you can, for example, if you've got one building and you go, okay, well, we're going to do it in levels, you might do it in MSSBs. So for each of these might be an MSSB, so you can click on that one to get an overview of all the different controllers, whether they're online, and then you can filter down if you've got a very large list. So looking at that, you can see that we currently have 2 devices offline and 3 devices online. You can also see in the type that the EasyIO FG version 2, this is the latest version of the FG, where they have changed the security on the device. So we've changed the way that it actually uploads and downloads the information, so we've signified it by a version 2. So if we look down here, we've got FCU_01. This is its IP address. If we go inside of that device, we can see that we can change the name and we can change the IP address by clicking save. In version 1, it'll come up and ask you to reboot, because there's no ability for it to do that automatically, but in the new versions it will actually just reboot itself. Then we've got our 5 items down the bottom here. So saving a backup obviously is to save the current settings inside of the device. So if we do a save there, it'll take a couple of seconds to actually do the save. Once that's completed, see the OK. We can go into restore. You can see that it saves the date. So this means that you don't have to worry about allocating dates or anything like that. And this is only for that device. What that means is that you don't have to worry about foldering everything and doing all that kind of stuff. It's already done inside of the setup for control management. That's why you set it up like this. So by doing that, it means that you've just got the saved for that particular device, and it's as easy as clicking on and clicking select, and it will upload that old backup. So if you've had problems, it's very quick and easy. So we'll just delete that one so it doesn't exist. Now we can also do the same for templates. So templates allow you to move them between different controllers. So for example, if you've got an air handler that is common throughout a building, well, you can save a template, design it once, and then just save it and load it into multiple devices. So if we save this as demo AHU, now in this you can use as many characters you like, spaces, basically anything. So we're just going to call it demo AHU. Saves that. Then when we go load template, you can see demo AHU there. So this will come up on all devices as opposed to the other save. So if I go back here and go to this one, load template, you'll see demo AHU up the top there. So I can delete that one because we don't need it. We'll go back to our device. The last thing that we can do is manage kits. So you'll see a list of all the kits that we've actually loaded into the device. Now what this does is just say, okay, well, I want the OpenBMCS because I need it. I can click on that and up pops a box saying, okay, yes, you want the OpenBMCS, but it's dependent on the following. And it will select the latest version that complies with that particular kit. So in this case, 1.46 complies with that kit, so that's the ones that it will want to load, and you'll see that now they're selected inside of that device. So there's no additional clicking, there's no need to worry about any of that stuff, and at the same time, if you go and select select that, it'll deselect everything. So none of those points are now selected. Then all you do is click the rebuild S code, so that'll rebuild the S code and also the app, so that it works on boot. The other thing, obviously, you can edit just the same way as what you previously did. Go into the level. If we just add in demo, now you'll see we've just got a demo in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add, even though the device is already there, we're just going to add one of these devices just as an example. So I'm going to add this one into demo. So if I go new device, you'll see that there's controller and touchscreen. So touchscreen is obviously for our touchscreens, and we'll automatically commission it, give you a username and password. So we'll go through that in a second. We just won't process it, obviously, because the touchscreens are doing other things at the moment. So if we go controller, look, the number of controllers that your license allows has already been exceeded. So at the moment, if we go back into here, we'll see that our license is max for 5 controllers. So we go OK. And what we might do is we might delete this one here so that we can add that one. So we just simply delete. Are you sure you want to delete this controller? Yes. So add a new controller, and it's a 32, and we'll go yes, it is a brand new controller, just so you can see that one. So we're going to call this dupe. Okay, so, and the IP address, we're just going to use the same IP address. You can see down the bottom here, it automatically fills it with the standard IP address. What that means is that it will actually make that modification without you having to change any IP addresses or anything. The actual server will look after that for you. So it'll change its IP address, make the modifications, and bring that controller online onto the system for you. So if we just grab that, paste it in there, and then we can go in here and choose to put a template in, and then click next. Actually, this one won't let us do it because we've selected new controller. Sorry about that. So there's our controller sitting in the device, but it is a duplicate, obviously, so I will remove that one. Yep. Okay, so now if we go to touchscreen, so we're going to go no. So now we can put in a touchscreen, so this might be front desk, so that we can identify it. So we put in the IP address it might be coming from, and what the IP address is that we want it to be. The desired gateway, so this is used if you want to be able to access this from outside. So in most cases this is not a requirement. Sorry, this is to get out, and this is the net mask. Sorry about that. Then what we do is we choose a user. So the reason why we choose a user is we use their security to allow that touchscreen in. So normally what we'd recommend is that you set up a specific, for example this one here, user, which only has access to that particular area. So if we choose that one, and then this one allows us to hide or show the navigation on the graphics. What that allows us to do is just display one page. So if you've just got an overview of say that floor, and that's the one page that you want to show people, but that actually has multiple levels underneath it that you don't want to show them. By doing this, you can just display that one page, and that's what's going to come up at the front desk. So when we do a save, it'll then upload that to the touchscreen. We'll set everything up so you don't have to worry about anything. It'll change its IP addresses, do all that kind of stuff for you. So nice and basic, and that's it. And there's one more button, which is a site-wide backup. So this is very much like the backup. The only difference is that this one actually backs up every controller, which is quite powerful. So what that means is that when you've finished doing your say your defects liability period, or you finished commissioning, or you finished a service even, you could do a site-wide backup, so that then you know that it is fully backed up, and the next person that comes, they can see the date. So you might even put, Tech Steve. So that is basically meaning, okay, the technician Steve has done the backup. This is the date, so everyone can see that you've done a backup of all of the devices. The next person that comes in can see that and if there's any problems, he knows, okay, I can go and upload one of yours. So seeing all of these backups, one thing that a lot of people do say is, okay, well, so I've backed it up, but I don't get that backup. So what if the controller crashes? So the last thing that a tech should do is up here we actually have a backup and restore. So if by clicking save backup here, what it actually does is it'll take a bit of time, but it actually backs up the entire database and then sends it to you. And there it is there. So that's the entire backup, and we can just choose that one and send it down to the device. Or if we've had to put in a replacement, we can take that file and send it down to that device. So that's a simple overview of the controller management inside of OpenBMCS's OpenManagement.